Hey, welcome back to Refuge. I'm Pastor Micah. Love that you're here. As we continue on our series on who, what, why, I want to talk to you a little bit about the what. What is the what that we refer to in Christianity that we oftentimes believe? Well, the what I'm referring to is the truth. Let me tell you a quick story. So a couple of weeks ago, I straight up 100% lied to my students at campus. I told them there was an Amazon gift card that was underneath one of the chairs and they had to go find it. So for about 5 minutes, the kids scattered everywhere and they were like wild crazy looking for this gift card. They were all over and I was like egging them on. I'm like, guys, it's $100. You got to get out there. You got to find it. And like literally they were looking under chairs. They were looking behind things. They were moving things. They looked all over the place. And then finally at that 5-minute mark, they're like, we can't find anything. And I was like, all right, guys, come back to your seats. I was like, nobody wins. Nobody gets the gift card. And then after they all sat down, I looked at them and said, hey, I was lying. There was no gift card. And they're like, wow, why would you do that to us? Because this is what I wanted them to learn. It's often said for every truth we believe that there is also a lie that could be out there. And the other thing is, a lie believed as truth will affect our life as if it were true. See, we live in this crazy, chaotic world that is always proposing things to be true that might not be true. Okay, think about this. For years and years, people actually believed the world was what? Flat, not round, not this globe that we learn about when we go to school. They really believed that if they went to the edge of the world, they would fall off of that. So sailors oftentimes were terrified to go to the edge of the world in their boats because they thought they were going to fall over. This wasn't true, but because they believed the lie as truth, it affected their life as if it were true. See, growing up, people would tell me all the time, if I crossed my eyes, if I stuck out my tongue, if I made all these funny faces, that my face was going to stay that way or my eyes were going to stay crossed. That's not true, but I believed it. And so I wouldn't ever dare even do that, not even to my parents or my friends, because I didn't want my face to stay like that. A lie believed as truth will affect your life as if it were true. So you got to understand that the devil is a liar and he's the enemy of God. He's the enemy of truth. The Bible actually says that he's the father of lies and his language is lies. So he actually speaks in lies. But this is also what the Bible says. It says, then you will know the truth and the truth shall set you free. We find this in John 8:36. And what I love about this verse is there's two main parts of this verse. Number one is that you shall know the truth. And number two is the truth will set you free. Now, these statements are very blunt. They're very forward in what they say. It doesn't take a genius to really understand this. But in order for us to really get this, we have to understand what is that truth. That truth is Jesus. Knowing who Jesus is. See, it pretty much states it clear when it's, you know the truth will set you free. And this is what I believe. I believe there's a specific reason why Jesus said this. I believe because he knows us as humans that there's going to be lies that we sometimes believe as true. And that if we're lied to, we begin to believe that lie, and that lie begins to affect our life. And when we begin to live out that lie for years and years and years, and Jesus was like, no, I want you to know the truth. I want you to know how this works. So how do we know the truth? Because doesn't everyone have a truth? Think about it this way. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Okay, you got it? Listen, there are people that say chocolate. There are people that say vanilla. There are people that say Rocky Road. There are people that say all these different things, and everyone defends it like it's their truth. And they will say chocolate ice cream is the best ice cream, or strawberry ice cream is the best ice cream. Well, what is the truth? There are so many different answers. Do you listen to yourself? Do you listen to your friend? Do you listen to your mom? Do you listen to your dad? Do you listen to other people? Do you talk to Google about it? Do you talk to Siri about it? Like, what if it's from me? What if I'm an expert in ice cream and I tell you, I've studied this and I've looked and this is what it says? Who do you believe? Now, a trivial thing like ice cream, that's kind of a funny thing to talk about. But what about when the world throws really tough questions at you? Like, I'm talking about really hard questions. What do we believe is truth then? Because as Christians, we have to know what the truth is. We don't go to Google, we don't go to Siri, we don't go to all these different things, but we go to the Bible and we see, what does the Bible say about truth? I love this verse in John 14:6. It says, Jesus answered him, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. And no one can come to the Father except through me. So understand this, there's only one way of knowing the truth, and that's by knowing Jesus. If you know Jesus, you do know truth. Now, people present a lot of things out there like it could be true, it may be true. I'm going to tell you this, Jesus is true. And even back in Jesus' time when he was alive, people asked, what is truth? Well, what we learn from Jesus is that any pursuit of him you're going to find the truth. If you go after Jesus, you go after truth. If you're going on a search for truth, it will ultimately lead you to Jesus. There's this crazy story in the Bible where Jesus is arrested by both Roman and Jewish people because he was out there preaching. He was out there telling the truth. See, the guards didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know with what authority should we sentence him to die. First, they took him to Ananias, a relative of the Jewish high priest, and Ananias was like, nah, man, I'm not doing this. So then they took him to Caiaphas, the high priest of that time, and Caiaphas said, you know what? Nope, I'm not doing this either. Like, yeah, Jesus is probably going to be found guilty, but let's send him to the Romans. And so this Roman leader named Pilate and Jesus have this conversation that's recorded in the Gospel of John, and it ends with Pilate asking him, what is truth? So you got to understand that there are people that will stand before the truth and not even know that it's true sometimes. This is what I know. I know three things. I know that truth is Jesus. He said he came into the world to testify the truth, that he is the way, that he is the truth, and that he is the life. So truth is important to Jesus, so it needs to be important to us. Number two is I know that some people are going to be able to know that truth is in front of them, but they're not going to be able to even acknowledge it. Pilate had probably heard a bunch of things about Jesus, some true, maybe some not true that he believed. He might have even seen Jesus or his followers do some amazing things. But when you're trying to decide on something, you've got to really ask yourself, what do I feel in my heart is true? What is truth? And that seems to be the situation we find ourselves in even today in culture. We're trying to make good choices, we're trying to think clearly about things, but we're getting a lot of different perspectives from a lot of different people. We have to, number three, go on a pursuit of truth. And ultimately, any pursuit of real truth, ultimate truth, will lead you to Jesus. So what is the why about all of these things? Well, the why is because of the truth. The what is because of the truth. The who is because of the truth. So pursuing truth is a big deal that we should happily go on and pursue no matter what. Why? Because Jesus is truth.